We used to all hang out at our friend Laurel at her house. We just listened to the new music that would come out. And that Preston guy came in one time. Somebody knew him, and he came into the house. And I was like, man, this dude, big old scary looking dude.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I met him. I had no idea that he was like some mafia type guy. The Fairview Hills. The Hellmans, Denny Hellman, they lived right catty corner from us at Fairview Hills. His brother, Alan Hellman, was a roadie for our band.
Are you serious?
And we knew. So around 76, we formed Black Diamond, and we were really popular. I mean, we played at the St. Mary's, right by the high school. And I think we had like 900 kids there. The band would practice in our living room. We lived right across the street from Prospect Pool.
Okay.
Kids would be looking in the window. We played at the Buckhorn Inn a lot. There's a place called the Altoona Terrace. We're just sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear a bunch of gunshots. I remember vividly Preston had his hand out, pointing with a gun, backing out of the door. I went up front, and Harry was on the ground. He was saying, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I remember that.
I'm talking to Ken Earnest today. Ken is a musician who grew up in Altoona, playing in local bands in the 70s and 80s. Ken was actually at the Buckhorn Inn on December 29th, 1979, when local Mafia crew member Preston Ryan fatally shot 20-year-old Harry Walters Jr. and wounded 24-year-old James Tyson. Ken eventually moved to California, where he continues to write and perform music. Ken, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going? Good to be here.
I'd like to talk about the music scene back then. So I moved away from Altoona in 1984. What got you into music back then?
My father was in a band, really popular in Altoona, and in fact, a lot of the guys that are still there, the old timers, really old time, because I'm 67, but a lot of the older guys, they still remember my dad. He was like a local legend. He was in a band called the Stereos. What else was it? A bunch of different names, but all the people that he knew were in the band. And I used to 6, 7 years old. The band would practice in our living room. We lived right across the street from Prospect Pool.
Okay.
Kids would be looking in the window. We'd just be playing music, and that's how I got started. My dad's playing. It's funny because one of the guys in your podcast, Caracciola, there was a Caracciola he was in my dad's band. Not that same guy, but I think maybe everyone's related, but his name was Paul Caracciola. He was a sax player.
Another guy actually contacted me and said he played in it was a rock band. It was actually a punk band, but he was from Pittsburgh, and he played with Caracciola's son, actually played drums for them.
Oh, yeah. Me and my brother, after my dad, we got divorced. My mom and dad got divorced. Just started playing music, 10, 11 years old. And then, I don't know, maybe around 15 or 16, we moved to Fairview Hills. I don't know if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So I lived down below you there by the cemetery. That's where I grew up at. So I always looked up and saw that water tower up there.
The Fairview Hills. The Hellmans, Denny Hellman, they lived right catty corner from us at Fairview Hills.
Oh, okay.
And his brother, Alan Hellman, was a roadie for our band.
Are you serious?
And we knew, he was a roadie. So actually, there were so many guys in the town that were roadies for all the bands. The band, we had a band called Black Diamond, and we were really popular. I graduated in 75 from Altoona.
Okay.
So I went to Penn. Yeah. So around 76, we formed Black Diamond, and we were really popular. I mean, we played at the St. Mary's, right by the high school, and I think we had like 900 kids there one day for one of the parties.
Wow.
Yeah, we were really popular. We got the name from Kiss.
Oh, yeah, the song Black Diamond. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were influenced by Kiss, and so at that time there was Black Diamond. There was a band called Piranha. A bunch of those guys that are friends of mine still back there. And just like the stories, we played at the Buckhorn Inn a lot. There was a place called the Altoona Terrace. We by the bowling alley after by what was it, Logan Valley?
Yeah.
But we played all around. We were really popular. I left in '79 to come to California. So we were big from like 76 to 79. Summer of 79, I came to California. I moved. My brother and I moved to come out here for music, which has been really great for us. So that's kind of like my story. That's my Altoona story.
Right, yeah.
I went to Roosevelt for 1 year, 7th grade. Then we moved across town. Then we moved to Fairview Hills.
Oh, I got you.
I went 8th and 9th to Keith.
Okay.
And then Altoona High School.
So
graduated from Altoona in 75.
Was Black Diamond all original, or were you guys doing covers?
We actually had originals too. We threw in there. We had a song called "Backstreet Lover," which was we made a 45 out of it.
Oh, nice.
And at the time, I graduated with Steve Kelsey, who was Rob Turdeman. He's the main. You probably heard of him, the all night rock guy.
No.
Yeah. So he was on the radio.
Oh, okay.
All night from midnight on the weekend, Friday and Saturday, and he used to play all the music, all our originals, and it was cool. We just cruise around town, and people would listen to him. The all night rock, Steve Kelsey.
Huh. So what was the local music scene like back then in '79? I mean, were you guys were you playing mainly clubs in the area, or did you guys spread out to other places?
Well, when we first started, we were playing, places where they had motocross and stuff like that. We'd get some flatbed trucks and play. We played some big concerts outside. Basically, like I said, Buckhorn Inn, Eldon Terrace, any club that was there. There weren't tons of clubs, but the main Buckhorn Inn was like a really popular one. We went to Maryland once and played. There was a point at a ski lodge. We played down there a couple times. Yeah, we were big. I mean, in Altoona, in that area. I mean, because we would dress up and because we were into Kiss, and we would have flash bombs and fireworks and stuff and smoke and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah, right.
Join the scene, But in '79, we were just. Somebody said to me, our last gig, we were up at Wapsie. We had a keg party in the mountains. We had a generator in the band. I remember somebody said, "Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond?" We decided either New York or California, and I said, "Well, L.A. is a lot warmer than New York, so let's go."
Right.
And then we Greyhound bus. My brother and I on a Greyhound bus, 3 days, and I wrote actually one of the songs that we played for years. I wrote about us leaving Altoona. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Anyway,
I'll have to check that out. I'd like to hear that actually. But so, will your brother play in Black Diamond with you?
Yeah, he's been the whole time. Any band I'm in.
Oh.
In fact, now we play now. He still plays with me. We do. We have a couple places here we play, and we do. It's kind of acoustic now. I play acoustic, and the guitar player that was in White Lies plays guitar with me, and my brother plays bass. So it's three original guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're still doing it. I mean, there's California. I've probably played about. I do solo now. I played probably about 400 solo gigs out here.
I saw that. Yeah, I was looking at your Facebook last night. Definitely doing some good solo stuff.
Yeah, a lot of work out here. So it's it's way different.
Yeah, I can imagine from Altoona, California. So I moved from Altoona to Harrisburg, and that was big enough shock. Compared to the mountains. Right. So 1979, you guys are out there gigging. You saw my video. It was a crazy year. So were you aware of the existence of the Mafia up there at that point?
I was aware. There are rumors. Wasn't really, we were in the music thing, but as far as like that Preston guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we used to all hang out at our friend Laurel at her house, the guitar player, music, a bunch of other bands at that time. And we just listened to the new music that would come out. And that Preston guy came in one time. Somebody knew him, and he came into the house. And I was like, man, this dude, big old scary looking dude.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I met him. He just walked in, and we were talking and hanging out. And I didn't think anything of him. I just thought he was somebody knew him. I had no idea that he was like some mafia type guy but yeah. So
how long before the incident did you meet him?
After, when we came to California in summer of '79, but we ended up coming back after about 3 or 4 months. We got homesick.
Okay.
And we had another band, but our friend Denny Frank was playing in the band of Buckhorn Inn that night.
Do you remember the name of the band?
And I asked my brother yesterday, and he said he didn't remember. But we all know Denny used to sing in our band also. Okay. He was in Black Diamond. But his band was playing, and we were back in town, and we were just hanging out. So we went to watch them. We're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, we hear a bunch of gunshots. Me, like an idiot, I stood up. Look, what's going on? A bunch of people looked around. And I remember vividly, Preston had his hand out, pointing, with a gun, backing out of the door and going. I went up front, and Harry was on the ground on his back. And I say he was saying, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." I remember that. He got shot in the chest. Someone said it was a sunken chest wound or something. And we're just, we're all still young. We're just like, oh, jeez. And this is what I heard afterwards, that when he came in, Preston, he bumped into Harry, and Harry, he didn't take any crap from anybody. and he got into some words and said some stuff to Preston, and that's when he got shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not what the newspapers say at all. And people were saying that the newspaper kind of had that messed up because they were claiming that two women got into an argument. Well, there's a couple of different stories that I had been told since I made this video, but some said that two women were getting into an argument and Ryan tried to, I guess, interfere with that argument, and he ended up just firing off a gun randomly across the room and hit Harry. And then the other guy that was wounded. Yeah,
I'm just going by what I heard
from
the people that were there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody else said that he hit one of the girls, and then and that's when Harry stepped in because he hit her.
Well, one of the girl that Preston came in with that night was a girl that I used to go out with.
Oh, is that right?
So, but I'm not naming.
Yeah,
I'm not naming her. I'm not naming her name, but
sure.
But she knows who she is.
Interesting.
After all these years, so. And she was a girl that used to hang out all the time, all together. So everyone kind of knew everyone.
Yeah.
So she knew Preston.
Huh.
But so after that, the paramedics were there and things, and we all, obviously we had to leave. They kicked us out, and I remember we're driving down the hill from the Buckhorn, and we're all listening, and then we go to somebody's house afterwards, and after a gig party thing, and we're all sitting around and we keep listening to the news, and finally it said he had died, and we were just like, "Oh shit,
man, yeah,
can't believe." But I do remember him on the ground. It was horrible, and it was it was a bad night.
Yeah,
horrible. He was a good guy. He's like I said, he was one of our roadies.
Jeez, really?
So,
yeah. Well, James Tyson was the other guy that was wounded. He was shot in the arm, allegedly because he tried to take the gun away from Ryan. He was from Ohio, though.
Yeah, I never heard of that guy.
Okay.
I wish I could remember the name of the band, but
yeah.
Anyway, we were just watching.
So Ryan allegedly left with another male when he fled. So any idea who that was?
No. All I remember was seeing him pointing the gun, backing out. Like you back away, backing, so nobody would mess with him, I guess. And then that was it. We're like, oh my God. So then it was total chaos, and people looking, and we see someone on the floor, and it's Harry, and we're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the papers say there were 200 patrons at the tavern at the time at 1:50 a.m. I mean, is it possible to fit 200 people in there?
Yeah, the place would get packed. It was the most popular. As far as if you're in a band, if you played the Buckhorn Inn, it was popular.
Yeah,
that was a place. It was like around town. It's not like L.A. where you got like 80 clubs. Back there was like 4 or 5 main clubs, but the Buckhorn Inn was one of the key ones. And I think it's just funny. I think they paid the bands $150 for 3 hours or something like that.
Jeez, yeah, wow.
We played 10 at night to 10 to 1, I think.
Okay.
$150. So I do remember that because we would all get our $32.50 afterwards and be happy.
Yeah, just enough to cover gas sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
So was the band actually playing when all this was going on, or were they actually tearing down and finishing for the night?
Can't say. I just remember just being. We were toward the middle. If you come into the door, if you go like where the entrance is, if you look to the right toward the middle, up toward the front, we were there. And I think they were. I don't know if they were like benches. I think kind of what I remember.
I was only in there once when I was 12. We were hunting. It was like my first year hunting, and we went in there to get food. Yeah,
that was the main place, man. If you're a band back there, that was one of the main places to play because they paid the most. They paid pretty good. Always had good crowds,
When you saw Preston Ryan come in at the bar there, did you recognize him as the guy you talked to previously?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, and not, there weren't a lot of black guys going into the Buckhorn Inn.
Right. Yeah.
Back in the day. I mean, I grew up in Fairview Hills most of the time, and like almost all my friends were black, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
to this day, they're my brothers. I call them my brothers.
Yeah, exactly. I only knew one guy I went to Keith with, and he lived up a good friend at that time. They lived in Fairview Hills, so that's really the only time I ever went up there. Supposedly, my family lived there at one point. Well, my friend that lived up there, a black guy I met at Keith Junior High, I saw later he was stabbed in a bar downtown.
Oh, wow.
I think his name was Lamont, if I remember correctly. But yeah. Altoona is a crazy place.
Yeah, my friends were the Lawrences. They're like 7 brothers. Then the Thomases, and then I played basketball. I tried for Altoona High School, but I graduated the same year as Johnny Moore. He ended up going to the Spurs, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Played 10 years for the Spurs. But yeah, it was a small community. I mean, we all knew everyone. Everyone knew everyone. As far as the bands and stuff.
So afterwards, you went back to California. Then how long after that did you go back?
I think it was around early winter or spring. Because I think, remembering now, when we came to California, we got homesick. We stayed here about 4 months, and then we went back because obviously I had to have been at the Buckhorn at 79 if it happened. So we were back. That's when we were back there. We had actually started another band back there called LA Connection, which is funny. But we ended up moving. Yeah, I know. So, and we stayed there for a month or two. Then by that time, my mother had moved out of Fairview Hills, and she had a 1-bedroom place. And my brother and I were staying there. And then the landlord said, "Hey, you cannot have 3 people here," that type of thing. So, okay, So we came back to California on another Greyhound bus and been here ever since.
Jeez,
so
you've been here ever since.
1980, early 1980, we came out here for good.
Jeez, yeah, that was a good time to hit LA. But I guess the music scene kind of shifted.
Oh, the 80s were the best, man. In LA at the time, Sunset Strip, there'd be like thousands of people at night. All the bands.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, every band I played in we were all playing hair metal bands back then. But every discussion obviously was we need to go to to LA if we're gonna get serious about
man,
this.
you would have. Yeah, you would have fit right. You would have fit right in with all the hair metal bands. We would play we played at the Whiskey A Go Go, and we were kind of like a Tom Petty. Oh yeah, we played there a bunch of times, and the Roxy. You've heard of Roxy?
Yeah,
we played there.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, so we played at the Whiskey, and there'd be like 4 bands, and we'd stick out like a sore thumb because we had a shorter hair. We were kind of like Tom Petty, that look.
Yeah.
But all these other guys were the metal guys like you that were in spandex and
had
long hair, and they're screaming and stuff. Motley Crue days and all that stuff. That was when they
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I saw the video of it was Count on Me, I think it was. You guys did recently.
Yeah,
that's some good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was a reunion we had at the Rancho Fest. Everyone loves the songs, man. We had a record deal set up, and the guy that was going to sign us, went to another company. And once that happens, they don't follow you to the other company.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
we weren't signed. We had end of the year at the Orange County Register. We were a top 10 band. We were number 4, and there were bands that were signed. And we were rated. At the end of the year, top 10 bands.
Wow, yeah, I believe it. You guys are definitely polished. Some good rating, too.
I can tell you, we opened up for Eddie Money, John Waite, Glenn Frey, Goo Goo Dolls, Matchbox 20, Tonic, The Romantics, That Benatar. Yeah,
that's awesome.
A lot of good gigs.
So you moved to California. You've been out there ever since. Were you able to actually just work in music, or? They
have a lot of temp agencies, and you just sign up, and they'll give you part-time work.
Okay.
They'll tell you have a contract. So my brother and I did that for a while. They'll say you have a 45-day contract here, and it's kind of cool because you're not full-time. Both him and I went to one company, and we worked there, and the guy liked us so much he hired us. It was an aerospace company.
Okay.
So got the job full-time in 1980, and that was once we got into aerospace. Aerospace is so big in California.
Yeah.
My brother's still there. He's been working at the same place since 1980.
Is that right?
He's still at the same company.
Wow.
Same company.
That's great.
Yeah, never been laid. But I got laid off, and but I applied at McDonnell Douglas in Huntington Beach, and I worked there for a whole bunch of years.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I did some other jobs. But then I ended up working at Disneyland. I worked a bunch of years at Disneyland. I retired from there 3 years ago. Took an early retirement, but I worked there a bunch of years. So.
Yeah. So now you're pretty much just doing your solo gig.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing music the whole time. Our goal out here was always, we're going to work. You got to work.
Yeah.
But we're always going to try to make it in music, and if that happens, then that happens.
Yeah.
We always had good jobs while we were working. We were never like, I'm just going to play music, and because it's hard out here because a lot of places are pay to play. If you play at the Whiskey, you got to pay.
That's what I heard.
And stuff like that.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Unless you have like a massive even if you have a massive following, you're still selling tickets.
Yeah.
We would, at the time we played at the Whiskey. We were packing 2 Greyhound buses full of fans to the Whiskey A Go-Go, and they'd pull up there at sunset, and they'd all get out.
Oh, is that right? Yeah,
2 buses full of people.
How do you do that back then? Is it like flyers or something like that? Because there's no email list or anything like that back then.
Back then, it was word of mouth. Like, I worked at McDonnell Douglas, so I had tons of people there.
Mm.
My brother, where he worked, would tell a bunch of people that would show up, and their friends would come. And then the other guitar player, Joe, who's in the band, who's with me still now, he worked at a couple of different places. So any big company we worked at, we told people we were playing.
Okay.
And then we'd sell tickets, and then people would just show up that knew the band.
Nice.
But it was more like fans. People knew us. I mean, to this day, there'd be people who, I remember that song. That was a great song. I remember we did this. And,
yeah.
Yeah. It was a good time.
So is your brother your only sibling?
Yeah. Well, I have 2 half brothers also.
Okay.
3 half brothers. Excuse me. I have 3 half brothers.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You guys went back together.
Yeah. Yeah, on the Greyhound bus, man. I got a really good song on there. It's actually the story of everything. That's leaving Altoona. And
yeah.
One of the lines says, "The sticky heat of August was always so unkind." Which my friend, one of my fans from back there, he still quotes that to this day. He moved back. He moved from California. He was a fan. I met him in California. He moved to Pennsylvania. He'll always tell me,
geez.
"Dude," he goes, "the sticky heat of August is still freaking unkind." You have no idea.
Yeah. Jeez. So do you go back? You go back to Altoona at all?
Yeah, I've gone back a few times. I went back like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then actually during COVID, my son and I drove across country back to Altoona. We took a drive.
Oh wow!
It was that's the last time I went. We drove. Took like 8-9 days to get there, then just hanging out and all that stuff, seeing everybody.
So you still have family up there?
Yeah, I got cousins. I don't think I have. My mom and dad passed away years ago, 10 years ago. My dad passed away. My dad lived out there in Pinecroft, the musician. The reason I don't go back now hardly is because since all my parents are gone, I used to stay at my dad's house, and he's gone. So I really don't have a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was convenient. I could stay there, and it was nice, and I could use his car. Now it's more like a hassle. Well, I'll go back someday. I was thinking of moving back to around State College, after all these years. And, I bought a house in California, and it's way more than I bought it.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you sold now?
Yeah.
And State College area, there's a lot of live music. There's definitely a strong live music scene out there, particularly for, acoustic type music too.
Well, I'm a retirement age, so I probably wouldn't play as much. I just hang out with my friends and play music sometimes,
Yeah. Well, when I'm
not an invalid.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was doing some searching. I tried to search your name in newspaper archives just to see if anything popped up for the band you were playing in back then. And really the only thing I could find, I think it might be your dad. 1956, it says 4 freshmen, Oakhurst Tea Room, and Ken Earnest on bass. So
that might be my dad. I don't remember that. I remember the Stereos, the Catalinas, the Legends. They played all the VFWs and Bull Snyders and all these kind of places from the old days. But he was big. He was popular, man. Like a lot of the, that back in the 50s and 60s, like mainly like early 60s, their band was pretty good. And I can send you a link of one of the bands, Black Diamond. I think it was when we played. I think we played at the Buckhorn Inn. I have actually a copy.
Please do. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I'll send you that. In fact, Denny Frank, the guy that was there that night at the Buckhorn, he's actually the guy singing on the MP3.
Oh, okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yes. Well, as far as anything else, I don't know any of the other, like the Mafia guys you talked. I don't remember those clubs that you talked about because we were, we're like 18 or 19.
Right.
So we didn't go to any clubs, but I do remember, like I said, Alan Hellman, and I remember his brother got murdered. His nickname was Pee Wee. I'm pretty sure Pee Wee Hellman. Alan was cool. Yeah, Alan was fun. He was like our age, but Pee Wee was older. And he was, there was always a thing like, hey, they're just the brothers. And there was more than one brother, I think. There was Alan, there was Pee Wee, but I think they had other brothers too.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it was great talking to you, Ken. Thanks a lot for sharing your story. And yeah, keep in touch. Please send me those links you have so I can check them out.
Yeah, I liked your content. That was really cool. Because I watch a lot of podcasts, and it was good. I saw Altoona. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, so I have another one in there. Actually, my dad fell off the Altoona Cathedral back in, I think it was 84. So right before we moved away, he fell off the cathedral. He was painting it. And
yeah, you're welcome, man. And I'll send you some. I'll email you the MP3s of I'll give you a little background on each thing I send you.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.